Welcome back to another Evolution Exchange podcast. Today I'm joined again by Richard Johnson. And I think it'd be a really good place to start here is to have kind of a recap on Clearitt, the journey you've gone on since we last spoke. And tell us a little bit more about how you guys are evolving.
Thanks, Shauna. Good to be back here. Yes. So Clearitt, what are we doing first of all? If you missed the previous podcast, we are offering invoice clearing to Australian businesses. And clearing then, if you don't know what that is something that's been around for ages in the financial system. For example, the big banks have been doing it for hundreds of years. So what happens is that if Combank and ANZ and Westpac and so on, they owe each other money, they don't send big chunks of money around. They try to be clever and net it off. So they only send the balance. It's very similar to like if you buy me a cup of coffee, and I buy you a cup of coffee, we don't need to send $5 each way, we just net it off. So we do that in our personal lives all the time. But they've been clever enough to coordinate that. And that is what we are bringing to normal businesses as well. Normal people, of course, haven't heard of that in many cases. But what we do then is that if you look at a normal business, you got your bills you got to pay. Let's say you got $100,000 you need to pay. So normally you would have to try to find $100,000 in cash to do that. But that's not what the banks are doing. Instead, they take whatever people are owed them. So you take your own, invoices, your own receivables, and then we can net off as much as possible. So if you got 100,000 in bills and 100,000 in receivables, we can net it off and bang, you don't have to pay a single penny to settle all these invoices on both sides, incoming and outgoing. And if there's a little bit of a balance, then you pay the balance or you receive the balance. And that's how the financial system works in the background. The stock exchange do this, the FX markets are doing this, and there are huge benefits for that. And we're just trying to bring all these benefits to normal businesses. So that's a recap of what we are doing.
Excellent. And I'll also just maybe have a link here as well where you can listen to that in more detail. But I do find it quite fascinating. I say a lot of people that run, small businesses and more startups probably don't understand that process or aware of those costs. So I think this is a great idea. So you guys have successfully launched the product now, and you're kind of in that phase of gaining more customers and more traction. So tell us a little bit about that journey you've gone on so far.
Yeah, look, for this to work, to net off, like the banks, they are in on it all together, they cooperate. So to make this work, everybody else is also have to cooperate together. So this means that to do this, you have to have your customers and suppliers working on this. So it's a network model, like LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever, we have to have our friends on there for it to be of any value. So we are at that stage now where we're building up the number of users and getting their customers and suppliers on board. And so it's a network product, and we see it as a community here, and for us to really get going and get that out there, we need to get the snowball to start rolling, so to speak. And we're at that stage, but I'm originally from Sweden. It's pretty cold there, so I know about snowballs. You gotta make a little snowball and then roll it down the hill. So we're making that snowball now, and part of that then is this equity rewards program where we want to reward people who care about this and put in an effort to help us spread the word here. And it could be anybody in a personal, situation or you as a business. It doesn't really matter to us. But of course, we only deal with business customers. So you need to refer a business to sign up here.
Oh, yeah. And that's exactly what I wanted to talk about, because this is exactly what the podcast is about today, is this very specific equity rewards in this game-changing fintech startup, which I haven't really heard before. So I thought it'd be really interesting to share this way of networking as well. So it's really interesting. And another point as well is that you guys aren't actually raising money here. It's actually giving equity away. So tell us a little bit about what that is. So what is the equity reward? Yeah,
so exactly. We're not raising money here. We are raising money in other situations at the moment, actually. But in this case, it's for us to build that community. So we're giving away $625,000 worth of equity in the company that we put aside and said, this is for our enthusiastic users and people who want to help us out. So everybody can be, or all these users and early adopters and so on can be part of the journey. They're part of the upside. So we start out, for example, then if you sign up for this, you can get your own code there and that you can share with other businesses. Then if someone signs up for our services using that code, you get $625. And so would the business signing up. So it's not peanuts we're giving away here. And you can refer as many as you want. So you can refer 100 people, and then you're getting a lot of equity in the company. And that's $625 in current value. And if everything goes the way we hope with this business, it would be worth a lot more.
That's brilliant. I think that's a good insight to how this works. In terms of like the difference between equity reward and a simple cash reward, can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, you could reward people. I'm with one of these online banks, and they send me offers to give me $80 if I sign someone up with a lot of small prints and so on. So that's you can get cash into your bank account, but we're giving away equity, so you become an owner, a co-owner with me and other people in the business, which is completely different, of course. And what would the value of those shares be? Well, if it goes the way we want, I said it could be worth quite a lot, but we never know. But you will be co-owner in the company, so that's very different to getting a voucher or a cash payout and so on.
It's fabulous opportunity for people as well, and I definitely think it's a really good approach for that snowball effect, for sure. So I suppose the question is, why are you doing this?
We think it's an Australia first. So, we're just trying to do something different to begin with. The whole company is resting on a completely different setup. You can run your business and cash flow management in a completely different way, completely change the things. But it's like, companies like Spotify and stuff, you do things completely differently. It's changing. So that's what we try to do. And of course, part of that, we're always looking outside the box for new ways of doing things, or, that's kind of how my brain works anyway. So, and part of that is that, okay, why don't we, because I'm not, ultimately doing this for, the success in terms of monetary success. I just want this much better way of doing things to get out there, so people realize that, we can do that. We don't need to go all the time through the old centralized legacy financial system. We can do it without it. So that's what's driving me. So part of that then, let's find another way of growing this and doing it together more. So it's kind of a mix of a normal business, but also giving away equity to customers and so on to be part of the journey. And everybody can say, I was part of that, and that's what we're planning to do. Definitely
a win-win. For sure. And it's almost like people are sometimes afraid to try these new ways of running your business. But what you're saying is just jump in and do it because it's easier and it makes sense and will save companies a lot of money as well. So that's awesome. Yeah. And why is it suitable for a startup like Clearitt, this model?
Well, I guess any company could do this, but it's extra suitable for a company like us because we are a network company. We need to have when you come on board as the first user of Facebook, there's nobody there,
Yeah.
So we need to connect to make it sense, So if you sign up for Clearitt and none of your customers and suppliers are there, it's like not big value, until everybody starts coming on board, or if you're lucky, they're already there when you join, but that might be at a later stage. So for us it's like built in the business that we need to, refer people and get our customers and suppliers on board and work together. So it's kind of part of the core of the business that we work that way. So it's very suitable for us to come up with this.
Yeah, it's an awesome idea, I personally think. And I think as well, a question I had is this program a one-off, you know?
Well, we can run it. We've set it up now, so we're giving away 50,000 shares. The way we set it up is that they're extra valuable at the start because we want to get the snowball rolling, and then, but you know, once we run out of those 50,000 shares and we've allocated them to people, then we might do it again, because we are also setting up a similar program inside the platform where people, you know, need to work together and approve invoices and so on. So all these little actions are also rewarded by equity. That's not up and running yet, but that's also coming. So that could be running, you know, in over the longer term as well. You know, if we see that that's a very suitable way of you know, getting new users coming on board that don't know how it works, and they can, you know, get rewarded for you know, getting that little further ahead on the learning curve that a bit quicker. Yeah,
it's a really good way of I suppose getting people engaged, and like you said, it's just like a network, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think that's actually really and truly the bones of clearing, isn't it? Is getting the network and getting everyone involved. So what you're saying is, if you do sign up and you start to use Clearitt, there's other little lucrative opportunities that you start to trial. Your new features. Okay, no, that's awesome. That's really, really great. Like, I personally haven't seen anything like this before, unless I've been out of the loop a lot on certain things. But, you know, I've worked with many different startups and scale-ups, but this is very different. And I think it seems like something that will work. Is there anything else you'd like to add there, in there, or anything else you'd like to point out?
Well, look, I think one reason we can do this now is the development on the technology side, of course, because what we're actually doing is that we are tokenizing the shares, which means that you're going to own a token, and each token is the equivalent of a share. But that means that we can actually, you can actually buy and sell these shares as well, which is very, very hard to do in a private company.
Wow. Okay.
So that's also another aspect to it, that there you can actually, once you get them, you can actually sell them and try to cash in if someone wants to buy them, of course, off you. But that's all on the platform we're using for this. So these are all technological, you know, advancements that I came up with Clearitt 20 years ago. So I've kept track of all of these things, you know, closely to see what could be done, you know, in this space. And we got a lot more fun stuff like that lined up, but you know, that's in the pipeline for us. But we're not stopping with this. We're going to come up with a lot of more interesting solutions down the line here. Get big, audacious plans.
It's amazing. It's very, very exciting, I have to say. So I'm really keen to see where it takes you, and the kind of the network that you build. And the journey companies go on as they connect with Clearitt. I know you've sent me a link as well. So basically, it's pretty straightforward, right? You send me the link. I was going to get my referral link. And then what I'll do is just leave that link maybe in the bottom of this particular post on this podcast, and people can start there. And go from there. It's probably the best way to do it. But yeah, it's really, really great to be connected into this particular network. So thanks so much, Richard, for joining us today. Really, really appreciate it. And fingers crossed all goes to plan for you guys. It's a great idea.
Yes, thank you. We just launched it here, and it's already people coming through. So that seems like to be popular already.
Yes, amazing. Thank you.